The Phil Steele Plus Tour with selections. Up for you today, I've got your Week 0 plays and 7 free selections for you today. Some futures, NFL play, college play, different things like that. Got them all up for you today. Now, the purpose of the tour is to show you how to use Phil Steele Plus to its fullest. And there's a lot of VIP members out there that get 4 full weeks of the Phil Steele Plus. The super VIPs get the entire season of Phil Steele Plus, but I want to show you how to use it best. There's a lot of great features, and I'm going to start out. Let's start out with the series domination play. Now, last year, on this Week 0 one, I gave you Wisconsin minus 14 over Purdue. I showed you that they had dominated the series. And what happened was when the game rolled around, Wisconsin was only minus 11.5. They won that thing 52-6 last year. So let's hope that both of these series domination plays I'm going to give you right now have that same type of success. Now, on Phil Steele Plus, when you click here on any of the team names, and Todd's currently getting all of these updated for the year, but you see them when they got colors like this in blue, they're ready to be clicked on. But you get the last 29 years history. Now, we do have the PDF set up. I'm going to show you, for instance, Virginia Tech against Virginia here. And when we look at this matchup, this is what you get. It's the last, I think it's the last 20, well, it's 28 years. I thought it was the last 29 years. The last 29 years matchups you get. And it shows you the score of the game here is if it's green, that means this team, Virginia Tech, won the game. If it's red, that means they lost the game. So as you see, they dominate this series. Over here's the spread. You don't have to do any math at all. If the number's green, that means that Virginia Tech covered. If it's red, that means they did not cover. Over here for the home team, if it says win, that means they won straight up. If it's colored red, that means they did not cover. So the home team is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 5, 3, 6, 3, 7, 3, 8, and 3 overall the last 11. Here's your over-under totals for each game. This tells you if there was an outright upset in the series. This is your total net yards. These are the complete stats. As you can see, look at this, Virginia Tech just dominating, running the football in this series against Virginia. So this is a series domination play. Now, a little bit later in the tape, I'm going to show you the Vegas plays. The Vegas are up right now. The Vegas power ratings for the year. Right now, Virginia Tech is in one casino, a 2-point favorite at Virginia. If you take a look here, they've only lost once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 1 over the last 21 years. And if you look at this, they've never won by less than 3 points. So getting a -2, you got a 20-1 angle. 18-1 straight up, all wins by 3+, 14-5 ATS in that span. And once again, not a single win by less than 3 points. It's available right now, a couple places. Virginia Tech -2 at Virginia. It's the end of the year, but it's a series domination play. And by the way, the series domination plays 12-5 the last 2 years here on the Phil Steele Plus Tour. And by the way, overall record for the tour, including the FCS plays, 91-59 over the last 22 weeks, giving out free plays here. So your first one is Virginia Tech -2 over Virginia. That's an actual number. The next one I'm going to show you, we go look at Army Air Force. And you guys, if you follow the tour and have been using the tour, you know I always use these service academies underplays, and we're going to use one right now. Whenever Army and Air Force and Navy play, those teams are familiar with stopping the option. They work against the option. The option's advantage is that their opponents don't normally face the option, and it takes them time to get up to speed. They usually need at least a week off prior to prepare for the option. But service academies, it's option versus option. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 straight unders in the series. You guys know Army, Navy, all unders, Air Force, Navy, unders, Army, Air Force, unders. So we're going to use a series domination play. I don't care what the total comes out with. We saw here a total of 32, still went under. Seen a total of 56 in the series, 58, 61. But we're just taking the total under, Army and Air Force under the total. And the beautiful thing is these last 28 years matchups are on every single game And like here's the 24 schedule. You could see, like here, we'll click on the Michigan. These two teams have not faced each other in that span. When you click on an FCS opponent like this, it shows you what Fresno has done against FCS opponents, and you can see the straight-up wins. Here's the ATS wins. Now, here's a note. When you do this, this is Sacramento State. We only have the records for the FBS team. So you're going to see here this red. That means Sacramento State's actually, heading into last year, had won their last two straight up. And all this red, that means Sacramento State's been covering. So the only ones you reverse are the FCS ones down here because we don't have an FCS file. So this is the FBS side of it. And if it's red, that's actually good for Sacramento State. As you can tell, most of these will be all green, meaning that Sacramento State lost versus the FBS, but they had won the last two. That's available on every single game, every team. Now, Todd says he'll have them up by the end of the week. That'll be awesome. As you see, like here at Kansas, this is a page in progress. So if you click on Phil Steele Plus right now, you'll see this is blank. It's in progress. This will be dropped in very shortly. He's got the schedule in, but they're not highlighted in blue like this. They will be highlighted, should be by the end of the week. So you'll have all of your 28 years matchups. Those will all be available. Also you can click on here, the last 40 years matchups. Look at this. You get spread records all the way back to 1976. It's every single year. Here's 2024. And look at this. You can tell right here, they didn't used to do totals on games. You might not remember that, but they just started doing totals in 2008. So we started putting totals on here. And you could tell what they've done total-wise in every game since 2008. On these, and we also have half times. You see the half times? I find those valuable. We don't have room to put those in the magazine, but we do have room here on Phil Steele Plus to put them in. So here are your halftime scores on every single game since 2008, and they are updated here for last year. Also down here, look at this. This is interesting. Glenn Mason, Terry Allen, Mark Mangino, Turner Gill, Charlie Weiss. You could tell who the coach was, what the record was, what the conference record was, the overall stats, all the way back since 1988. Great research. And you want to know on a line on any game, hey, when's the last time Kansas was a 42-point dog or something like that? You can look it up here yourself. You've got the records all the way back to 1976. You basically close to 50 years worth of records. So that's on every single team. We also have the draft history for every team. This is every player ever drafted since the draft was started back in the 1933, I believe it was. That's available on every team. The last 20 years leaders, you could go back here. They're all updated, as you see. This is your passing leaders in each and every year, all the way up. Rushing leaders, defense, receiving. That's on every single team. And this is all at your fingertips. I have unlimited space here. And this is beautiful, too. Individual player stats. This is on every game. So if you want to see how a player did against a specific team, or you want to see when a player was injured, didn't play, it's all in there. Quarterback, running back, receiver on every single game. And that goes back. We've got these records dating all the way back, like 2015, 11, 10, 9. You could click on any of those. 2010 individual stats. There you go. That's it. There's no reason for us to delete this stuff. We've been putting this stuff in here for 16, 17 years, and you get the information. And the beautiful thing about the Phil Steele Plus as opposed to the magazine, if we put the magazine in red and green like this, which is red means bad numbers, green means good numbers, if we put the magazine like that, it makes it less readable. So we have to keep it all in black. But here it stands out. And we also give you an average game grade on every single game. We'll get to that in a minute. But there's a lot of great features on Phil Steele Plus. And by the way, when you're on to go to Phil Steele Plus, here's the Phil Steele Plus menu. There's more than just these team pages. FBS, you get the team pages. College ATS logs. So you get spread logs all during the season. FCS spread logs, NFL spread logs are all available all season long. Let's get back there. There we go. You get the schedule predictor, which we'll get to in a minute. The experience chart, injuries and transfers, strength of schedule, pass efficiency, defense, special teams, all these things every single week. When you go to the FCS, you get the team pages, FCS logs, average game grades, pass efficiency, defense, FCS standings, and NFL team pages. And let's go ahead and take a look at the NFL team page real quick. Take a look at the Cleveland Browns, for example. As you see, last year, not a good year. A lot of red. Look at that poor offense last year, huh? The previous year, look at this defense, all green. In fact, they were number one in the NFL, holding opponents to 57 yards per game below their average. That's what this column is out here, and that tells you where they rank for the season. So, and these are all the way back. And once again, if you're a fantasy football player, look at this, 2023 individual stats. See how a player did against a team? Maybe there's one team that he gets 100 yards against every single year. That's updated each and every week. Here's 2024. You can see the different quarterbacks that played and all the stats on them. So that's available on every single team. All right, let's get to the last 4 weeks. And this I find interesting. And we're going to put the FBS up here. We're going to put Kansas. Let's go find them. They are in the Big 12, Kansas. And we're going to come back over here, and we're going to go to team pages and FBS team pages, and we're going to go to put Fresno on the left. Now, the last 4 weeks won't take effect the first 4 weeks of the season, naturally, but they really become a factor at the end of the year. And as you can see here, Kansas actually didn't play bad. They had a lot of close losses here. A 6-point loss, a 3-point loss, a 4-point loss, a 4-point loss, a 2-point loss. So they were playing good. You can see their average game grade. The average game grade, not only the score of the game, it takes into account the opponent, your yards rushing, your yards passing. I love the average game grade. It's a tremendous stat. But later in the year, we give you this last 4 weeks down here, and it only adds up the last 4 weeks' average game grades. Look at this. At the end of last year, they were at 114.2. These guys were just at a 94. So that has Kansas a good size advantage. And we're going to take a look at the schedule predictor here for a minute. And this is what the schedule predictor has in it each and every week. Hopefully we can get it. Yeah, it's all on there. All right, so here's your best bet records from last year in each of these categories. As you see, like this category here went 136 and 132. Not great, but still a winning record. Overall, the best bets. Now, green is a best bet. So this week there are no best bets coming over here. There's 76 and 49 for your best bets last year. That's where there's 3 or more best bets lined up on the same game. This one, Kansas, comes up 23.3 in the last 4 weeks AGG. Now, what I'm going to tell you is this. Last year, I put one of these plays out, and this doesn't necessarily work the first week of the season, but I put it up there so you could see the difference. They played at 114.2 level. Fresno State was playing at a 94 level. That's a 20-point difference. You add in the home field edge. That's how you come up with that the different number there. So let's go back here to the schedule with numbers. There we go. So that's why they come up 23.3. But later in the year, we put these up. And the last 4 weeks best bets, whenever this is green, that's more of a difference of 6 points or more. 99 and 67 last year. So once it gets to be about week 6, week 7, start paying attention to that column. These numbers will differ from the average grade. Now, right now, there's no average game grade up. You have your plus-minus power ratings, which last year were 106, 108, and 76. You have the situation home team, and you see Kansas has another best bet there. Now, why would Kansas have a situational edge? Well, Kansas last year played their home games basically on the road. Their home games were taking place in Arrowhead Stadium and in a soccer stadium. This year, they're back in their home stadium. It's their first game in the refurbished home stadium. Crowd's going to be excited. They do have the situational edge. Plus, Fresno has a lot of transfers this year. They have a first-year head coach. They're just getting their feet wet. This takes all that into account. Now, I'll tell you, when you're looking at the situational part, if it's a positive number, that favors the home team. If it's a negative number, that favors the visitor. In this case, it's a best bet on Kansas because it's a 1.5 situational edge. Anything basically 1.5 or more becomes a best bet in this category. So as you see over here, Kansas has 2 best bets going for them. It's yellow. It's not a complete best bet. Stanford's got a 2. UNLV's got a 2. And these will expand as the season goes on. There's always a lot more up there. But all of these columns, you can see the records on them. Conference YPG 29-20. The Angles went 41-21 last year. Last time here, score 42-25. And you can look, maybe there's a column you like. This schedule predictor's up for every single game, every single week. And this takes you all the way down to the bottom for the end of the year. But I just highlighted this week's schedule predictor for you right there. So keep in mind, and by the way, to get to the schedule predictor, once again, you go to the Phil Steele Plus menu. And when you go there, we are going to click on Schedule Predictor. And this gives you an explanation of what's on the schedule predictor, but you can download all the games right now, right there, and they're all the way updated throughout the season. You can see all the numbers in there for the season. You want to know a line on a game? The Vegas numbers are up. The yellow means that it's an actual number in Vegas. So, like I said, the Virginia Tech team, or a game at the end of the year that's -2, that's an actual number that's up right now. But all these things are up right now. The revenge factor has done extremely well, and the records are updated each and every week right here on the schedule predictor. The schedule predictor alone is worth getting Phil Steele Plus. But this is, let's take a look here. Okay, so anyway, your last 4 weeks play, your schedule predictor play, and the last 4 weeks, 99 and 67, 61% over 2 years. We're going to take Kansas, -12.5 over Fresno State. That's Kansas, -12.5 over Fresno State. By the way, inside the press box, it's time to get your inside the press box for the year. This is a recap of last year. It's me versus a computer. Now, I will say this. The first year, the computer had a huge finish to the year and ended up edging me out for the best record. Last year, I went 40 and 30. I had a good year. The computer had a big finish again, went 37 and 25, beat me once again. Computer's now 53 and 32 over the last 5 weeks. And if you follow the computer, look at the offense and defense sections in the write-ups and the magazine for the teams. You will see that the computer forecasting the team's yards and points for the year generally is almost on the money on almost every single game. But I will say this, while the computer beat me in the regular season, I won the postseason, including the FCS games, which we put in inside the press box as best bets, 9 and 3 in the postseason for me last year. So I beat the computer there, and I'm bound and determined to beat the computer this year. But you turn out the winner, because last year, 22 games above 500 was the total finish for the season for inside the press box, and that's a pretty good number for the year. All right, let's get back to what we were going to take a look at. Let's take a look at NFL Most Improved. You might find this interesting. I did a series of articles up there on the most improved teams in the NFL. Close wins, close losses, turnovers, YPG, stock market. Last year, we added them all up. I gave it a point total over here. And you can see out here that these teams in green, this is what they did record-wise. They improved their record by 6 games, 14 games, 16 games, 8, 12, 2. Did really well. The only difference is right here at the very bottom. It was surprising. Houston and Pittsburgh were supposed to go down. They actually had the same record. Baltimore was actually went down a little as well. Of course, Baltimore still had a really good, or Baltimore went down, I should say. But Denver and Detroit actually improved last year a little bit. But for the most part, the team's forecast at the bottom went down. The team's forecast at the top went up. I show you that chart because let's take a look at this year's most improved. And we're going to click over here, 2025 most improved teams. And Cleveland tops the chart this year. If you looked at the series of articles, they were -22 in turnovers, the YPG, the stock market, the YPP, slipping and sliding, all those factors have Cleveland. And you see here, Vegas is onto this a little bit as well. This is the record last year for the team out here. This is where Vegas's win total is for the year. And this is the difference between Vegas's win total and their record. So as you see, for the most part, the teams that are shown here as being most improved, Vegas is expecting the same, and these teams down below, Vegas is expecting a weaker record. But keep that in mind. And one thing I do at the start of the year with this chart is, and you could take a photo of the chart if you want, but I take a team that's up here in the green and take it against a team in the red. You figure you're getting line value. These are all teams that have the metrics pointing up. As an example, San Francisco is near the top of the chart here, right up here, and they are most improved 49.4 points. Then you come down here, Seattle is -17.4. Right now, in the opening week of the season, San Francisco is -2 against Seattle. This is saying San Francisco is a green team and Seattle is a red team. So we're getting line value in the fact that San Francisco had a losing record last year at 6-11, but Vegas expects them to be much better at 10-5. Seattle, of course, down here, they had some negative factors. They had 4 net close wins last year. Their YPG is -3.1. That's why they're down here in the negatives category. So one of your plays, NFL Week 1, we're taking San Francisco -2 over Seattle. That's San Francisco -2 over Seattle. Phil Steele Plus, $99 for the year. You get it free with an Inside the Press Box subscription. And I'll just take you to the store for a minute. I've got 3 more selections, and I'll run those off for you rapid fire right after I show you this. If you want to get our NFL Preview magazine, it's available right now. That's the digital. There's the college magazine. This is inside the press box for the season, NFL and college. Inside the press box for the year is $169. NFL $169. Phil Steele Plus $99 for the year. You get that free when you get either of these right here, college or NFL. Here's your VIP bundle, which the Super VIP bundle also gets you Phil Steele Plus. That's $99, but you get all the rest of the stuff with the Super VIP bundle as well. Just go to the store, and you're able to click on there. On next week's, I'll give you some specials and discounts and things like that. I will say that for inside the press box, if you flip to your magazine page, flip to your magazine, there are 2 ads in there for inside the press box, which give you a discounted price. See if I can find a page on that. Can't find the page, but they're in the magazine there. So check that out. But let's get to your final 3 items here. They're college over-under win totals. The first one we're going to take a look at is Oklahoma. Now, it was 6.5. I still see some 6.5s out there, but naturally, since I have them as my number one surprise team in the country, Oklahoma's jumped to 7.5 in some spots. They had close losses last year. They had no offense last year. This year, they have a vastly improved offense. Their defense last year held opponents to 87 yards per game below their season average, number 6 in the country, I should say. And the defense is once again loaded this year. We're going Oklahoma over 6.5 or 7.5. The second play is Louisiana Tech over 5.5. They are on my most improved list. Expecting a big year out of Louisiana Tech. And by the way, the discount's on page 51 of the magazine. Todd just let me know, page 51. So we're going to go with Louisiana Tech over 5.5. And finally, Marshall under 5.5. The bulk of Marshall's team is on Southern Mississippi this year. Marshall just won the Sun Belt. They're not getting back to a bowl game this year. Take under 5.5. So Oklahoma over 6.5 or 7.5. Louisiana Tech over 5.5. Marshall under 5.5. I got 98 games to break down for you next week. I'll have Phil Steele Plus completely updated for you. I'm going to show you all the features. Make sure you check out the schedule predictor each and every week. And the tour, 91 and 59 the last 22 weeks. Let's keep that rolling. I'll be back with you next week, probably on Wednesday, with the Phil Steele Plus tour with selections. Thanks for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour with me today.